Welcome back to the channel, everyone. CryptoTakeOver coming back with another Bitcoin analysis video for you this evening. Bitcoin, is it going to be topping out here in our symmetrical triangle? Are we going to be breaking to the upside, or do we still have a little bit of consolidation left out for Bitcoin here in the near-term future? We're going to take a look at the charts, go over a few other different charts today too as well. I believe we're going to go over Kava and one of the other charts. But if that sounds interesting, we're going to go over Kava, ZIL, and Ethereum today. So hopefully that sounds interesting to everyone. Go ahead and stick around, and let's get started. If you're brand new to this channel, we use the market cipher indicator by CryptoFace alongside with the TI sequential by Tonebase and the market guide buy and sell signal. So we're going to be diving on into the charts here. Let's start with Bitcoin on maybe the 2-hour and see what's happening here. You can currently see that we are starting to get rejected maybe at this top trend line here, just a tad bit as well. But one thing that I'm noticing is that, our VWAP is kind of moving back to the upside here. We did have this nice little bullish cross here, but it looks like we could be seeing a little bit of downwards rejection, money flow maybe kind of rounding off just a tad bit here. If we move on into our 4-hour time frame, we're starting to see our first sign of our red Heikin-Ashi candles too as well. Money flow still in the green here on the 4-hour. I would imagine we'll start to find some support relatively soon, and then maybe continue out sideways as well. Moving on into our 6-hour time frame, starting to see a little bit more of a topping out pattern as of right now with some red dots here on Cipher B as well. And then money flow kind of moving up to the top end there too as well. Moving on into the, let's go into the 8-hour, just see what's, reference it here and see what's kind of happening. No sign of a red dot just yet, but I would imagine we'll probably get a red dot relatively soon. Starting to see some rejection at the 10.7 area right now on Bitcoin. we were trying to possibly break bullish out of this symmetrical triangle here that you can currently see with our yellow trend lines, but we didn't quite have the move to the upside here to be relatively bullish just yet. I'm still waiting more or less on a symmetrical triangle break either to the top or the bottom here, but that's probably not going to happen until later in October. It is currently October 5th. I would imagine that maybe by next week or the following week we'll have a trend line break from one side to the other. So Bitcoin looking relatively sideways as of right now for the most part. We did get some buy signals here, on some of our higher time frames, but it does look like we are starting to see a little bit of a curvature here with our Cipher B patterns as well too, maybe indicating that we will come back down to retest our bottom yellow trend line first, and then maybe decide whether or not Bitcoin wants to break bullish or bearish out of this symmetrical triangle. Looking at the daily here, it looks like we're trying to push back up above the 21 EMA. Currently seeing a little bit of a green dot, but we're starting to have these Christmas tree patterns. Things are getting really tight. Things are starting to squeeze just a tad bit. And now we're going to have to wait and see exactly which direction Bitcoin wants to break out of. Moving on into the 2-hour time frame here. 2-hour time frame, still seeing some rejection on the 21 EMA. We are seeing some nice bullish divergences here on the 2-day. But still, I would rather wait and see which direction we break out of this symmetrical trend line with. Buy signal here on the 3-day, so that's brand new too as well. This could be relatively bullish for the most part, but like I said, I still want to wait to see what direction we break out of this trend line. If we break to the upside, I would want to see at least a 5% break out of this triangle here. So if we go on into our daily, let's see what 5% would be maybe outside of this trend line to the upside. We're looking right at about 11.2, 11.3. So that's definitely for the bearish or the bullish indication. We'd want to see possibly bounce all the way up into the 11K area, preferably 11.2 or 11.3K to remain relatively bullish. But we'll have to wait to see how Bitcoin wants to play this out. No sign of a buy signal here on our 4-day just yet. It still looks like we are kind of moving sideways with our momentum wave here on our 4-day. So before we get started on that, looking at our altcoin charts, we're going to go over the DXY and see what's happening here with the DXY chart too as well. I'll turn off our buy and sell signals. So let's start with our 4-hour and go from there. We did see a nice rejection with the DXY. It looked like we broke bearish out of this trend line down here, forming somewhat of a little M pattern here too as well. And now that we've seen that, we're going to have to wait to see if this wants to retest the trend line and then break further. It looks like we are getting a big green dot down here. So not a substantial trend line break to the downside on the DXY. So we'll have to wait to see, how this wants to continue out. We are starting to see a little bit more of a sell-off, rather than a bullish breakout pattern here on the DXY. So it's definitely going to give Bitcoin an opportunity to maybe break bullish outside of the trend line. Money flow here on the 12-hour is relevant though. Looks like we are starting to see some bullishness still left in the DXY, but I would still wait to see what Bitcoin decides to do, and then the DXY will probably play with that too as well, kind of indicating that one pumps and the other one dumps kind of thing too, right? Moving on into our daily time frame with the DXY, you can kind of see this nice little rounded money flow here too as well, but our momentum wave is still headed to the downside here on the daily, and pretty much the same thing with our 2-day as well. It looks like we do have a little bit of a bearish divergence here on the 2-day chart with our Cipher B, and also starting to see a little bit of some red Heikanashis here on the 2-day as well. Let's take a look at our 3-day and just kind of go from there. Possibly seeing a rejection here with a red dot too as well that could further lead us to the downside. So that's a firm possibility too. Would definitely give Bitcoin, maybe gold and silver, an opportunity to pump too as well. Folks, I do want to let y'all know that we do have our Path to Cryptocurrency course that is available. This is a beginner's guide to cryptocurrency. If y'all are interested in getting started and learning how to invest in this market, I would definitely recommend that y'all check out this course, at least so that way you can understand and get a little bit more knowledge than starting brand new off in this course. Make sure that you do your own research, obviously, but a course is a great way to get you started inside of the cryptocurrency space. Everything from what exchanges we use to how to, learn a little bit more about these projects, such as the DeFi projects. You can come over here and see all the modules that you will be getting when you sign up for this cryptocurrency course. So I highly recommend it. Come over here, links in the description box below. And then also we have our trading group page too as well. So definitely not for beginners, but if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how we trade this market, what altcoins we are currently dollar cost averaging into, and then other relevant cryptocurrency news as well, then come over here and get signed up for the Patreon membership. We have a few more spots ready for you to join in on. I believe there's 5 more spots left with this tier level. Once you join, you can see all the perks and rewards that you'll get down here as well. When you do join, make sure you give me your Discord username, and then I will be able to add you to the private category on our Discord server. And then also we're doing a $100 giveaway in one of our favorite altcoins once we reach 3,000 subs. So make sure y'all smash the thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that way y'all can be updated whenever we do this giveaway. And then so that way you can come back to the channel pretty much every single day. I would really appreciate that. This really just takes a couple of seconds to sign up for, and then we'll do the drawing live when we hit 3,000 subs and give away we'll give away $100 in one of our favorite altcoins when the time comes. So let's jump back into the charts over here. Let's take a look at Ethereum. That was one of the charts that was requested. So if you join our Telegram page, we are giving polls on there every couple of days for people that are interested and want us to review some of these altcoin charts as well too. Moving on into Ethereum right now, we did get this bearish trendline break here. Let's go on into our 4-hour time frame, see what's kind of happening here, and then move out from there. We're starting to see a little bit of an M pattern here. So possibly a break to the downside definitely could be occurring here relatively soon. And then, that would definitely lead us maybe to some support around the 300 area, 315. Let's see, in our 6-hour time frame, also this could be a nice substantial. We could draw this out a little bit further and say, oh, it looks like it's already broken below this trend line here, but we'll have to wait to see. We did have this retest on this big yellow trend line, which was part of our daily trend line, and we did come back up and retest it, and now it looks like we're seeing a little bit of rejection from there once again. So definitely something to take note of. We're getting a little bit more of some Christmas tree patterns to form here on Ethereum as well. But from the looks of it, we'll have to wait to see if this still wants to break a little bit lower than currently where it is right now, maybe into the close to 300, if not lower than that too as well. We did come back all the way down and test the 312 area, but that could be another area of support for us too. And if that's another area of support, well, then we're putting in another bigger M pattern there too as well, and that could definitely lead to a little bit more of a bearish sign. Maybe a little head and shoulders that might be forming there too as well. So we should remain cautious here. It looks like we are forming a blood diamond here on the 21-hour with Ethereum as well. If we start to see that rejection there, I would look for, you definitely look for us to come back down and retest maybe that 300 area on Ethereum. I do know that the DeFi market has kind of popped its bubble, to say the least, when it comes to some of these DeFi coins too as well, which will move us on into Kava here in a little bit. But this is definitely starting to squeeze relatively tight as of right now with some Christmas tree patterns, and we'll have to wait to see if our 21 EMA is going to end up crossing below our 100. If that bearish cross happens, then definitely we could be breaking below the 300 area on Ethereum. We'll just have to wait to see how this wants to play out for the meantime. But this is kind of what we're looking out for, is possibly, if we aren't to remain bullish, then it does look like Ethereum could be really ready to maybe sell off just a tad bit. But I would say that if we do end up breaking bullish, we're looking at right around the 387 area. Trying to get back up above the 21 EMA here on our daily time frame. So that's where you can maybe indicate a more of a bullish mark that might happen if we are to break above the 21 EMA on the daily, which is sitting right at about $356. So let's go on into Kava. I believe that was the other coin that we wanted to look at today. And I know Zilliqa was one of them. So let's take a look at Zilliqa, see what's happening here with Zilliqa. Forming a nice little M pattern or a W pattern here on the daily too as well. We did break above it. Money flow here on the daily is looking pretty nice too to the upside. This is a nice little inverse movement here. So if we start to push back up above this green trend line, Zilliqa is definitely looking like it's probably ready to take off. Let's take a look at the 12-hour. 12-hour money flow still looks pretty good. 21-hour, let's take a look there. I would say our daily time frame here on Zilliqa is definitely kind of telling us that money's probably ready to come back into this market. So what I've heard on Zilliqa too is that they might be getting ready to move to a proof of stake mechanism. So I will definitely be keeping my Patreon members up to date with this as well when the time comes and when is necessary. But they are also part of the Ethereum sharding, which would help Ethereum scale just a tad bit too. And then they also run the Unstoppable Domains website as well too. So if you want a crypto domain, you can come over to the Zilliqa website and find it there. I do have some links in the description box below if you're interested in picking up a .crypto website, but you can come over there and check that out too as well. Folks, don't forget our Discord server is free to join. If you do want to join our Discord server, link in the description box below. And then once you join, just make sure you click the green checkbox to abide by the community rules and guidelines. And you can come in there, ask us a bunch of different questions. But as you know, the Patreon page in the Patreon section of our Discord server is for private members only. You need to be part of the Patreon group in order to have access to that part of the Discord chat. But we also do polls on our Telegram channel as well. So if you are wanting to request one altcoin that you'd like for me to review, make sure you head over to the Telegram channel, and we post polls there on what altcoins you want me to review on our videos as well too. Links in the description box below. So Zilliqa looks like it's forming a nice little W pattern here, ready to break, maybe possibly bullish up here too as well. It looks like we are having a little bit of a retest back down to our bullish trend line, but we'll have to wait to see how this wants to play out. Money flow here on our 2-day also kind of headed to the downside, possibly ready to see a red dot rejection here on our 2-day as well too. So as of right now, the daily does look relatively bullish, but I would still wait to see exactly how this wants to play out. We're coming back down to retest our 100 EMA here on our 3-day. And, if we come back down to retest that, then I would imagine we'll see a nice little bounce here too as well. It looks like we're getting a buy signal here on our 3-day for the most part as well too. With our buy signal here on our whales buy and sell signal, which is a custom indicator. I teach you how to set this up inside of the Patreon page as well. I would say that that's pretty bullish for the most part. We're not seeing that on our 4-day just yet, but our 3-day is telling us, possibly a buy that's ready to come in here pretty soon. So just something to take note of there as well. Let's go over into Kava, because I believe that was the other coin that we had voted on in our Telegram channel as well. So we'll look at Kava BTC and then kind of go in from there. Kava BTC, let's take a look at the 12-hour chart to start off with. 12-hour chart, seeing a nice little rejection red dot there too as well. We had a bearish trendline break here too. For the most part, if we are starting to put in another M pattern here, then that could definitely lead us to another downside potential. So we'll have to wait to see how this wants to play out. But if we come back down to retest the trend line on Kava right at about 14,000 sats, then it does look like we could be possibly headed further to the downside. I believe Kava is one of the DeFi coins as well too. So if the DeFi bubble is popping right now, then we could probably definitely see Kava start to head back to the downside too as well. The daily has a bearish EMA cross on it right now too as well. So we'd probably want to wait for us to come back up above the 21 EMA to remain relatively bullish. Maybe getting a green dot here relatively soon would be nice, but if we come back down and put in another big green dot, that's also a possibility too as well. So still seeing some sell pressure here with Kava on our 2-day chart, also seeing a red dot rejection too as well, breaking below our 100 EMA here on the 2-day. So yeah, it definitely looks like Kava still has some potential to maybe buy in at lower prices if y'all are interested in that. But I would definitely probably wait to see what this wants to do before you decide to get into it too much. The 618 looks like we probably could come back down and retest that 618, maybe all the way down at 14,000 sats or so. That's a possibility. So part of this is DeFi bubble, and maybe seeing some sell-off here alongside with Ethereum and some of the other coins too as well. So let's go back into Bitcoin really quick, and I also wanted to reference just the dominance chart too as well, just to get an idea of maybe whether or not money wants to move back into Bitcoin from its little DeFi bubble too as well. So looking at the daily chart here with the dominance chart, definitely money flow starting to round off, further to the upside, which would give Bitcoin a higher dominance, and maybe actually saying that money is ready to move back into Bitcoin too as well. Let's take a look at the 2-day chart here. 2-day chart still seeing some nice rejection, but money flow still headed back up to the top side, and also seeing a green dot here on our 2-day. Could say that we could come back up and retest our 100 EMA with our dominance sitting back at about 62% or so. And that's kind of where Bitcoin dominance chart looks to be headed to right now. on some of these higher time frames here, such as the daily and up. So just something to take note of there. We could be seeing some of that in the near term future, maybe money ready to move back into Bitcoin too as well, after its little DeFi bubble pop. And then if the DXY is to continue to sell off, then you know, we can also say that that gives Bitcoin an opportunity to probably start to pump a little bit more too as well. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on these charts, folks. Like I said, if y'all are interested in staying up to date with, you know, an analysis every single day, make sure y'all join us in that Patreon page. But if not, it's okay. And we will be back making more videos here and there in the near term future. Don't forget, we're doing our altcoin poll reviews. So if you are interested in suggesting an altcoin, make sure that you join our Telegram channel as well. And without further ado, folks, I'll go ahead and leave y'all with this, and I'll see you on the next one. CTO signing out. Peace.